Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you isn't soft motivation. It isn't designed to make you feel good. It's designed to wake you the hell up. Most people go through life asleep, scrolling, complaining, procrastinating, and then they wonder why nothing changes. They want success, but they don't want effort. They want freedom, but they refuse discipline. Let me give you a hook. You'll remember every second you waste is a second someone else uses to beat you. You need to understand something brutal but true. Life doesn't care about your excuses. The world doesn't slow down because you're tired, broke, confused, or lazy. While you're thinking about starting, someone else is already years ahead. While you're doubting yourself, someone is training harder, learning faster, and building a life you'll spend years envying. That's the game. And if you don't wake up now, you'll spend the rest of your life watching other people live the life you were supposed to build. This is your last warning. Stop wasting time hoping things will magically change. Success is not coming to save you. No mentor, no friend, no opportunity will matter if you don't move. You must become the kind of person who attacks the day with purpose. Wake up earlier, work longer, learn skills that pay, cut the weakness out of your life. Discipline yourself so hard that laziness becomes impossible. You have no idea how powerful you become when you stop negotiating with your own mind. Let me give you another hook. Comfort is the enemy. Pressure creates kings. Every goal you have, money, respect, health, freedom, demands sacrifice. You must choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One builds you, the other destroys you. And too many people are choosing regret without even realizing it. But here's the truth that should ignite your soul. It's not too late. You can still reinvent yourself. You can still build the life you dream about. You can still become the man who walks into a room and changes the energy instantly. But that version of you is on the other side of action. Not tomorrow. Now, not someday. Right now. Your future self is watching you, begging you to stop wasting time. Discipline is the only real superpower in a world where everyone is distracted, unfocused, and lost in their own excuses. People think success belongs to the talented, the lucky, the gifted, but talent fades, luck disappears, and gifts mean nothing without the force that keeps you moving when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what separates the ones who dream from the ones who dominate. And here's the hook you need to burn into your mind. The man who controls himself controls his entire world. When you build discipline, you stop becoming a slave to your emotions, your laziness, and your fears. You start acting with intention instead of reacting to life like everyone else. Think about how most people live. They wake up tired, drag through the day, complain about their situation, and then repeat the same cycle the next morning. They want results without effort, progress without sacrifice, and respect without earning it. They are prisoners inside their own minds because they never developed the strength to command themselves. Discipline is the exact opposite. It is the decision to do what must be done, regardless of how you feel. It is the foundation of every achievement, from building a business to mastering a skill to transforming your body and mind. Without discipline, every dream becomes a fantasy. With discipline, every goal becomes inevitable. That's the difference. And here's another hook. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is eternal. Motivation comes and goes like a wave. One day you feel inspired, the next day you feel empty. If your life depends on motivation, you will always fail because your emotions cannot be trusted. But discipline doesn't care about moods. It doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Discipline shows up. Discipline executes. Discipline wins. The people you admire, the millionaires, the athletes, the leaders, they aren't special. They simply mastered the art of doing the hard things consistently, even when no one is watching. When you start embracing discipline, your entire identity changes. You begin to trust yourself because you know you will follow through. Confidence isn't built by talking, it's built by doing. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you stack another brick in the foundation of your future. The world starts respecting you because you respect yourself. You speak with more certainty. You walk with more purpose. You think with more clarity. Discipline sharpens your mind the way pressure creates diamonds. And as you grow stronger, life starts bending in your favor. Not because it suddenly became easier, but because you became harder to break. Let me give you something even deeper. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Weak people think discipline is restriction, waking up early, working when you're tired, saying no to distractions. But that restriction is what gives you control over your time, your money, your body, and your future. Discipline is how you break free from mediocrity, from chaos, from financial stress, from mental weakness. Without discipline, you are at the mercy of your impulses. With discipline, you become unstoppable. The world opens for the man who has mastered himself. Every great transformation begins the moment you stop negotiating with your mind. Your mind will always whisper lies. Do it later. You deserve a break. It's too hard. But discipline cuts through the noise. Discipline says, do it anyway. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, you evolve into a stronger, more powerful version of yourself. That is the path to greatness. Not magic, not miracles, just the relentless commitment to act even when it hurts. And the truth is simple. If you don't build discipline, you will build regret. The choice is yours, and it starts now. Time is the most valuable currency you own, yet it's the one thing people spend with the least awareness. You can earn back money, rebuild a business, repair a relationship, even restore your health. But once a second is gone, it never returns. That reality alone should terrify you enough to move with purpose. And here's the hook you must engrave into your mind. Every minute you waste is a minute someone else is using to get ahead of you. The world doesn't pause because you're distracted. Your goals don't wait because you're comfortable. Time keeps moving, and if you're not moving with it, you're already falling behind. Most people don't realize that time is alive. It's not a number on a clock. It's a force that shapes who you become. If you treat it casually, your life becomes casual, weak, unfocused, directionless. But if you treat time like a treasure, your life becomes something powerful, structured, unstoppable. Successful people aren't necessarily smarter. They're simply ruthless with their time. They understand that every day is a countdown, every hour is an opportunity, and every wasted moment is a silent defeat. They don't live in someday. They operate in now, because they know no is the only moment that builds the future. Look around and you'll see how easily people throw their lives away. Scrolling for hours, gossiping, sleeping too long, waiting for motivation, waiting for luck, waiting for the right time. Waiting becomes their life. And here's another hook you need to hear. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait until your life is over. Progress happens when you stop treating time like something you own and start treating it like something you're renting. Because eventually the rent runs out. Ask anyone at the end of their journey what they regret most, and they'll tell you they didn't run out of dreams, they ran out of time to pursue them. When you understand the value of time, your standards rise. You stop entertaining meaningless conversations. You stop wasting energy on excuses. You stop giving attention to people who drain you. You start building habits that matter. You start focusing on work that grows you. You start protecting your hours like a warrior guarding a kingdom. Time becomes sacred because you finally understand that it is the foundation of everything: wealth, health, impact, growth, freedom. Without time, none of it exists. With time, you can create all of it. And the truth is simple: your future is being shaped right now, minute by minute, whether you participate in it or not. If you choose discipline, you rise. If you choose distraction, you fall. If you choose focus, you grow. If you choose comfort, you shrink. There is no neutral option. Time is always pushing you forward or pulling you down. The difference is how you use it. Every small action compounds, every hour learned, every task completed, every skill improved, every distraction avoided. These are the quiet decisions that build empires. The real power of time is that it exposes everyone. People who pretend they're working hard eventually get left behind because time reveals their laziness. People who invest consistently eventually rise above everyone else because time rewards their discipline. Nothing stays hidden. Time magnifies your choices until your results become undeniable. That's why you can't afford another wasted day, another wasted morning, another wasted hour. You are not losing time. You are losing opportunities that will never come back. That should shake you awake. The person you want to become is begging you to stop wasting time. Every version of your life. The rich version, the disciplined version, the respected version is waiting on the other side of better time management. You don't need more chances. You don't need more motivation. You need to stop treating time like it's free. Because the moment you do, your entire life will shift from average to powerful, from drifting to dominating, from wishing to achieving. Time is your weapon. Use it before it uses you. Comfort is one of the most dangerous traps a human can fall into because it feels harmless while silently stealing your potential. People think failure comes from doing too little, but the truth is deeper failure comes from choosing comfort over growth, ease over effort, routine over challenge. Comfort doesn't warn you. It doesn't shout. It whispers, slowly numbing your ambition until you wake up one day wondering where your strength, discipline, and drive disappeared. And here's the hook you need to engrave into your mind. Comfort is the enemy that kills you quietly. It lets you survive, but it never lets you win. It gives you peace, but it steals your power. If you want a life that means something, you must learn to walk away from comfort before it destroys everything great inside you. The truth is, every meaningful achievement requires discomfort. Growth isn't glamorous, it's messy, painful, and full of days when you don't feel like moving. But that's exactly why it transforms you. Pressure is what forces a seed to break open. Fire is what shapes metal. Struggle is what builds champions. Yet most people avoid pressure, avoid fire, avoid struggle. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the results without the discipline, the status without the suffering. They don't understand that the obstacles they run from are the very things designed to prepare them for greatness. And here's another hook for you. Your comfort zone is not a home, it's a cage. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. Comfort seduces you with a simple lie, that you can do it later. Later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and eventually you realize your dreams died in the waiting. Comfort convinces you that you have time, but time is not loyal to anyone. Comfort tells you to relax, but life doesn't reward those who relax too long. Comfort tells you to take it easy, but ease never built a strong mind, a powerful body, or a wealthy life. Everything you want exists outside that soft bubble of convenience. The life you imagine in your head requires a different version of you. A stronger, sharper, more disciplined version. And that person is only born through discomfort. Look at the people you admire. None of them became exceptional by chasing comfort. They became exceptional by doing what most people refuse to do. They woke up before the world did. They trained when they were tired. They worked when others partied. They studied when others slept. They embraced discomfort until the world had no choice but to respect them. Comfort didn't give them success. Discomfort did. Their victories were built in the moments that felt hardest, not easiest. And the same is true for you. If your life feels easy right now, it means you're not growing. What you avoid most is usually the doorway to your next level. If you avoid difficult conversations, your relationships stay weak. If you avoid hard work, your skills stay average. If you avoid discipline, your potential stays trapped. Discomfort is the price of transformation, the cost of becoming someone powerful. When you voluntarily step into discomfort, you become dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a way that nothing can break you. You develop resilience, grit, mental sharpness. You become the kind of person who doesn't crumble when life gets hard because you trained in the dark for moments like that. And here's the hook you cannot afford to ignore. Comfort destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Failure at least teaches you. Comfort teaches you nothing. It keeps you exactly where you are, stuck, stagnant, predictable. But if you choose discomfort, if you choose the path of effort and sacrifice, your future expands. You begin building a life where opportunity gravitates toward you, where discipline becomes natural, where success isn't luck, but the byproduct of your character. The pain you feel now will eventually become your strength, and the discomfort you endure today will become the freedom you enjoy tomorrow. The choice is painfully simply stay comfortable and stay average, or embrace discomfort and become unstoppable. Excuses are the most destructive lies you'll ever tell yourself because they sound comforting while quietly crippling your potential. People think failure happens because they weren't lucky enough, talented enough, or supported enough. But in truth, failure happens for a much simpler reason. They protected their excuses more than they protected their goals. Excuses are emotional armor. They shield you from discomfort, responsibility, and accountability. But that same armor also blocks progress, growth, and success. And here's the hook you need to carve into your mindset. Excuses don't defend you, they imprison you. Every excuse is a brick in the wall between you and the life you want. Most people don't even realize how deeply excuses have consumed their thinking. I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. I don't know how. I'm not ready. These phrases feel harmless, but they are the language of a weak mind. They are the silent killers of ambition. You repeat them long enough, and they become your identity. You become the person who almost tried, who almost made it, who could have been great, but never stepped forward because the excuses always felt more comfortable than the effort. And here's another hook key. Your excuses are the reason someone else is living the life you dream about. While you hesitate, they execute. While you complain, they adapt. While you make excuses, they make progress. Excuses are seductive because they let you avoid pain. They protect your ego from failure by convincing you that the problem isn't you, it's the circumstances. They give you an escape route so you never have to face the truth that your success or failure depends on your actions, not your explanations. But this protection comes at a cost. Every time you choose an excuse, you steal from your own future. You rob yourself of skill, growth, discipline, opportunity. You sacrifice the person you could have become for the comfort of staying who you currently are. That trade is the reason most people stay average for their entire lives. The strongest individuals, the ones you admire, the ones who dominate life, share one simple trait. They refuse to negotiate with excuses. They act when they're tired. They learn when they're confused. They work when they don't feel like working. They succeed not because life was easier for them, but because they refused to lie to themselves. They built a habit of doing the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the necessary things, even when their emotions disagreed. That is why life bends for them. That is why opportunities find them. That is why they rise where others stay stuck. Excuses are not rooted in weakness. They are rooted in fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But here's the reality: avoiding action because you fear failure guarantees failure. At least when you try, you gain experience, strength, clarity, resilience. When you hide behind excuses, you gain nothing. The fear gets louder, the doubts get stronger, and the life you want slips further away. And the cruel truth is this: your excuses don't stop the clock. They don't pause competition. They don't slow the world. While you delay, someone else is outworking you. You're not competing with them. You're competing with the version of yourself that refuses to grow. The moment you stop allowing excuses to dictate your actions, your entire life shifts. Suddenly you move with urgency. You stop wasting time. You take responsibility for everything: your discipline, your results, your progress. You stop waiting for the right conditions and start creating them. You build momentum, and momentum builds confidence. You start becoming the kind of person who follows through no matter what. And here is the final hook you must understand: the day you stop accepting excuses is the day you start becoming unstoppable. Because nothing can defeat a person who refuses to lie to themselves anymore. That mental shift alone can change your entire destiny, but it begins with one decision. The decision to stop hiding behind excuses and start doing the work that your future self is begging you to do. Every goal you dream about, wealth, respect, influence, confidence, freedom, requires a stronger version of you, and most people never achieve what they want because they never become who they need to be. They imagine success as something they will get one day, but success isn't something you receive, it's something you grow into. And here's the hook you must burn into your mind: your goals will never come down to your level. You must rise to theirs. The lifestyle you want demands discipline. The respect you want demands character. The money you want demands skill and consistency. The freedom you want demands sacrifice. You cannot remain the same person and expect a different life. The equation simply doesn't work that way. When you set a goal, you are not just declaring what you want, you are declaring who you must become. If your ambitions are high, your habits cannot be low. If your dreams are big, your mindset cannot be small. This is why so many people stay stuck. They love the idea of success, but they resist the transformation required to reach it. They cling to old habits, old patterns, old comfort, and then wonder why their life doesn't evolve. They want the reward, but not the identity shift. And here's another hook: You cannot live like the old you and expect the life of the new you. Something has to change. Something has to break. Something inside you has to grow. The version of you who is broke, undisciplined, unsure, inconsistent, that version cannot handle the life you say you want. If someone gave it to you right now, you would lose it as fast as you received it. Success requires maturity, clarity, resilience, consistency. It requires someone who can wake up early without being told, who can keep going without a cheerleader, who can control their impulses instead of being controlled by them. Your goals aren't rejecting you. You are simply not yet the person capable of maintaining them. And that should not discourage you. It should empower you, because it means your future is in your hands. Transformation doesn't start with motivation. It starts with brutal honesty. You must look at yourself and admit what needs to change. Your habits, your priorities, your discipline, your environment. Every great achiever had a moment where they realized they weren't yet the person they needed to be. They didn't get offended by that truth. They used it as fuel. They improved. They evolved. They restructured their life around their purpose. They stopped letting their emotions dictate their actions. They started working like someone who deserved the results they were chasing. That mindset shift is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. And here's a deeper hook most people never understand: success doesn't change you. It exposes you. If you are weak, success will magnify your weakness. If you are unfocused, success will magnify your chaos. If you are insecure, success will magnify your fear. This is why you must become solid before you become successful. You don't build character after you win. You build character so you can win. The inner work is what makes the outer rewards sustainable. Becoming the person your goals require means letting go of things that no longer serve you. Letting go of excuses. Letting go of laziness. Letting go of negative people who drain your energy. Letting go of habits that sabotage your progress. Growth requires sacrifice, and the first sacrifice is always the weaker version of you. But the moment you commit to upgrading yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, life begins to open in ways you never imagined. Opportunities appear. People respect you. Your confidence multiplies. You start earning results instead of wishing for them. The truth is simple and powerful. Your goals are waiting for you to rise. They are not unreachable. They are not unrealistic. They are simply guarded by the future version of you, the disciplined, focused, relentless version who is capable of holding everything you desire. And the journey to that version starts the moment you stop asking for an easier life and start demanding a stronger you. Because once you become the person your goals require, nothing can stop you from achieving them. Action is the ultimate weapon against fear, doubt, and hesitation, yet it's the one thing people delay the most. They convince themselves they need more time, more knowledge, more clarity. But deep down, they're not waiting for information. They're waiting for confidence. And here's the hook you need to tattoo on your mind: confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. Every step you take, no matter how small or imperfect, builds a version of you that is stronger, smarter, and bolder than the one standing still. The man who acts, even clumsily, will always defeat the man who hesitates perfectly. People underestimate the power of movement. They think they need to plan for months, visualize for weeks, or wait for inspiration before they begin. But life has never rewarded the thinker more than the doer. Thinking prepares you. Doing transforms you. You don't need to see the entire road. You just need to take the next step. Yet most people freeze because they want certainty, not action. They want guarantees, not effort. They want results, not risk. And here's another hook you must remember. Your overthinking is costing you more than your mistakes ever will. Mistakes teach you. Hesitation destroys you. Every day you wait is a day you fall behind. The truth is, fear doesn't disappear before you act. It disappears because you act. Action shrinks fear. Action builds courage. Action strengthens your mind. When you move, your brain switches from survival mode to growth mode. You stop asking, what if it goes wrong? And start asking, what can I learn from this? That shift in perspective is what separates winners from the masses. The masses sit on the sidelines imagining worst-case scenarios. Winners step onto the field and create their own outcomes. They know that clarity is born from motion. They learn faster, adapt faster, and evolve faster because they choose action over analysis. Every great achievement in history started with imperfect action. A decision that could have failed, a step that wasn't guaranteed, a move that required courage. No one became successful by sitting still. They acted when they were scared. They acted when they were unsure. They acted when the odds were against them. And because of that, life rewarded them. You cannot think your way into greatness. You must act your way into it. Even the smallest action, repeated consistently, becomes unstoppable progress. That is the power people ignore while waiting for the perfect plan that will never arrive. There's a dangerous lie people tell themselves: I'll start when I'm ready. But readiness is a myth. You become ready by starting. You gain skill by doing. You gain clarity by engaging. You gain strength by struggling. The world is full of people who waited for the right moment and ended up waiting forever. And here's the brutal hook you need to absorb. The gap between you and the life you want is not knowledge. It's action. You already know what to do. You already know what habits to build. You already know what distractions to cut. What you lack is not information, but execution. When you begin taking action, even messy, imperfect, uncertain action, something powerful happens. You build momentum. Momentum is the force that makes success feel natural. It turns effort into habit, habit into identity, identity into destiny. Once momentum is on your side, you no longer force yourself to take action. Action becomes automatic, and that is where true power begins. That is when you stop being someone who wishes for success and become someone who expects it. The final truth you must embrace is this: inaction is the slowest form of failure. It doesn't ruin your life overnight. It destroys it quietly, day by day, opportunity by opportunity. But action, even small action, is the fastest path to transformation. One message sent, one chapter read, one workout done, one risk taken. These decisions seem small, but they compound into an entirely new life. And if you truly want to rise, here is the ultimate hook. Your future self is watching you right now, hoping you will move. He's not waiting for perfection. He's not waiting for certainty. He's waiting for you to take the first step, because once you do, everything else begins to shift. So hear me clearly. This is not motivation. This is a deadline. This is your final wake-up call. You either rise today, or you stay exactly where you are, stuck, frustrated, invisible. The world rewards the relentless, the disciplined, the ones who refuse to wait for permission. Make a decision right now. Either stay average or stand up and take the life that belongs to you. Because if you don't take control of your time, someone else will.